And welcome. It's a busy day here at Fire Service Junction of the Wedru Road, and we are set to do the morning press review as we do it in Universal Heritage Television. I am Akobidima, your host, and we'll be going to the paper, to the stand now to see what the papers are saying this morning. Stay tuned. Okay, we have quite a lot of papers here this morning. And you know, this is a popular stand where we usually come for this program. The vendor is already here, Papa himself, who gives us this opportunity to use his stand for the review. And I have with me here two respected media personalities. First, I have the man I call Chief Ori Martins, even though he refused to answer the chief, but I call him Chief Ori Martins. He's a journalist here in Imo State. Yes, welcome to the program. And I also have another media personality here, Enwere McDonald, who is a public affairs analyst also. McDonald, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So let's look at what the papers are saying this morning. I'm going to start with the local tabloids, and then later we'll go to the national paper. So let's start with the Watchdog, the Weekend Nigeria Watchdog. We have the Weekend Nigeria Watchdog here. And the big caption here says 2023, Dikocha disagrees with Imo APC chairman, says party may lose in Owerri zone if. 2023, Dikocha disagrees with Imo APC chairman, says party may lose in Owerri zone if. I wouldn't know what this agreement is all about, but maybe we may have to go to read. And then another caption here says INEC insists on June 3 deadline for conduct of primaries, with a rider urges political parties to comply with Electoral Act Constitution. INEC insists on June 3 deadlines for conduct of primaries, urges political parties to comply with Electoral Act and Constitution. 2023, PDP reschedules primary election timetable, writes INEC. 2023, PDP reschedules primary election timetable, writes INEC. Ezini Itembise APC chieftain Ojukwu extols Uzodinma for recovering Imo oil wells, road reconstruction orders. Ezini Itembise APC chieftain Ojukwu extols Uzodinma for recovering Imo oil wells, road reconstruction orders. Okay. Another one here says that Imo oil facility explosion. Police recovers 3 undetonated IEDs. Imo oil facility explosion. Police recovers 3 undetonated IEDs. NAE to partner Imo NUJ for 2023 political summit. That's the National Economic, what's the National Association of Economists to partner Imo NUJ for 2023 political summit. All right, so now let's look at the story here. It says INEC insists on June 3 deadline for conduct of primaries. We had news filtered out a few days ago that there's been pressure on INEC to shift or push their calendar forward for the primaries, but it seems INEC is resolved on ensuring that the timetable runs as is stated. What do you have to say about that?
Well, I think I have to agree with INEC because as I always insist, part of the problem we have in Nigeria is that we are not firm. Our leaders are not firm. The institutions are not firm. Today it is A, tomorrow it is B, the other day it is ABC. So you don't really know the real guideline. But I am agreeing with INEC that this timetable has been there almost a year, almost 8 months. So I don't see any reason to shift it forward.
But what do you have to say about INEC insisting on the timetable?
Yes, I think INEC is in the right direction. It is unfortunate that when it comes to election time, politicians and the political parties will like to influence the decision of INEC. I think I want to commend INEC to be firm. This is an independent National Electoral Commission. they should not allow any political influence or any political interest from any political party, either ruling party or any political party, to influence their decision. They should stand firm, and they should make sure that they stand and stick to their decision and to their timetable, which is in line and in pari passu with the Constitution of Nigeria. I think INEC is also in right order in that direction.
Dikocha disagrees with Imo APC chairman. Let me take that story. He says a former speaker of Imo State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Geoffrey Dikocha, has said that APC in Imo State is likely to lose Owerri Zone in the forthcoming election, going by the way and manner the party is piloting its affairs. Dikocha earlier, when the APC supporters of Owerri Municipal organized a reception in honor of Dr. McDonald, the APC chairman, accused the leadership of allegedly compromising the process in order to favor his preferred person. Dikocha, who is the Director General of Prince Alex Mbata Campaign Organization, dropped another bombshell on Thursday during an Owerri Zonal Stakeholders meeting held at the party secretariat. According to him, the state APC led by McDonald has not done enough to galvanize members of the party, especially the aspirants of various positions. If the person, the status, somebody of the status of the former speaker, Dikocha, a very sagacious politician and a staunch member of the APC, is giving this type of verdict on the APC, does it spell, is it a sign, is it an ominous sign of something that may happen in the APC?
Well, it's not an ominous sign, it's just a warning. And according to the story there, he said may. It was not emphatic. He didn't say will. So it's a process, and Dikocha made his stand in very clear that the way the chairman is conducting the affairs of the party, particularly in Owerri Zone, that if the party does not change, if the party does not shift, that it may likely lose the Owerri zonal seat. Well, what it is left for the APC is to look at what the alarm Dikocha has raised and see if it can adjust for the better.
Okay, McDonald, still on this issue, are you seeing a realignment or change of position there? Because when Alex Mbata did what he termed the mother of all empowerments, the governor was there, and he did say that he's watching, and time will come when he's going to reward those who are making impact. And everybody thought it was about giving Mbata the APC ticket. But a few days ago, the governor again made a statement where he said he's not going to give support to anybody. They should all go to the field, that whoever emerges becomes the candidate. So, and now the DG of Mbata has, made a statement that one can qualify as a cry. It's a cry out. Do you think something is changing?
There is serious inconsistency, and before I continue, I think you have stated it. You have said it. You need to understand who Right Honorable Dikocha is. Dikocha is the campaign director general of a frontline APC senatorial aspirant here in the state. Dikocha was also the speaker in Imo State House of Assembly. Dikocha was also a member of National Assembly Service Commission. Dikocha is a renowned politician. He's a recognized politician in Imo State. So whenever when he speaks, you have to sit down and do a clinical analysis on his statement. He did not put it under probability. Rather, he warned APC. And to me, what he's saying is a testamentary confirmation that APC, it may not be under probability. The party is not positioned to win election in Owerri Zone. If by any reason Dikocha is not in the position to even begin to weigh or to begin to put the chances of APC under probability, but for him to tell that, he must have seen the enormous doom that may happen in the party. Yes, you asked about on the consensus arrangement in the party. Yes, we know that in APC today, APC is just like in Imo State. It's just like a party that is that is built around one man. So when you are talking about a primary, it's not possible. We know that the party is making, there is an arrangement. All the ticket of APC in Imo State is going to be fashioned. It will be decided by one man. So for Dikocha to come out at this point in time, to begin to accuse and point accusing finger on somebody, which means something fishy is happening.
All right, let's look at another paper. That's the much we take from the Weekend Nigeria Watchdog. Let's look at the Trumpeter. We have the Trumpeter newspaper here. That's the Trumpeter newspaper. And the screaming headline here says 2023, Imo APC abandons consensus for party primaries as aspirants rush to pick forms. 2023, Imo APC abandons consensus for party primaries as aspirants rush to pick forms. Obodo, Ugochukwu picks APC nomination forms. Exclusive, how Imo PDP harmonized 3-man adult delegate list in Abuja. Exclusive, how Imo PDP harmonized 3-man adult delegate list in Abuja. Time has come for Igbo man to become president, says Archbishop Obinna. Time has come for Igbo man to become president, says Archbishop Obinna. Another one here says jubilation in MBK as Nosokwa picks. This is ADC form for rep seat. There's a mistake here. Yeah, it should be ADC, not APC. ADC form. Jubilation in MBK as Nosokwa picks ADC form for reps seats. All right, so let's look at the stories here now. And I have somebody by my side here. You are free to join us in the discussion if it so appeals to you. Let's look at Imo. Let's start with PDP. Last week, there was news in town that there were skirmishes at the PDP secretariat following the world congresses they did. And the two actors mentioned there were the Ihedioha lineup and the Samuel Anyanwu National Secretary's lineup. But just 48 hours after that incident, a picture came out from Abuja where the two people mentioned were together, and statements were issued that they have resolved the matter amicably. But people are still having doubts if that resolution will be a lasting one, considering the journey of Imo PDP so far. So what do you make of that? Maybe I'll start with you. You want to comment on that? The crisis in Imo PDP. Do you think it has been resolved?
Well, the issue of being resolved is a thing of the mind and the heart. The heart of the man can be deceiving, and it can be a deceit as well. So I think in this situation we have to watch out to what comes out in the next couple of days and weeks. So I do not believe in most of these write-ups. I believe in practical actions. So whatever happens in terms of reconciliation will be seen as we move on to with the trend of events, because in a situation like this, every day we have a lot of changes, and one situation could bring a change to another situation. So the issue of harmonizing or settlement cannot be relied on until we see things that happen practically. That's what I can say on that.
Let's have a take on this.
My brother, the truth is that any person telling you that there is a harmonization, that is a peace between Emeka and Samdadi, the person is not understanding the Imo political terrain very, very well. Samdadi, at all costs, quote and unquote, wants to emerge the candidate for PDP for the 2023 governorship election. And for him to do that, you must have to start with the immediate, which is the presidential, National Assembly and State Assembly primaries that will lead to the election. And so far, being in Abuja now as the secretary of the party, Samdadi thinks, and correctly too, that he has powers. And mind you, people say that any bird dancing on the road, the drummers are somewhere in the bush. So you should also understand that Samdadi is not just doing this. There are some people who are beating the drums for him. For you now to, okay, what have they harmonized? What have they harmonized? And you can see the paper with us here. The thing is in quote. You understand, which means it's not absolute. So what I'm saying is that this harmonization is going to work, because it's not the first time, it's not the second, it's not even the third. Since 2015, that PDP has been playing a harmonization role between Emeka and Samdadi. What I'm telling you is that as an analyst, as a journalist, it's not going to work. It's not going to work.
Okay, McDonald, let me have your take.
Well, my take on this is I don't think there is any cause for alarm in PDP, and also whatever thing that is going on today is part of the politics, and I don't think so. There is also need, for it to be amplified. What is going on in PDP is part of the politicking. So when you talk about harmonization, yes, in every political party politics is about interest, and interest is personal. So every politician in a political party must do everything to pursue his or her personal interest. And so when there is a diverse interest in political parties, so you talk about a mutual consensus or agreement. I think that is what is going on in PDP, and also it will also create a very, mind you that PDP is an opposition party, so they must do everything possible to create a very healthy situation. If there is any opposition within themselves, I think what they are doing is to come together and create a mutual atmosphere that will help members of the party to come together and fight as one body against the ruling party. So that's my take on that.
All right. Okay, that's the much we take from the Trumpeter newspaper. Let me have the news, the Oriental. Okay, that's Wednesday. That's Wednesday edition. That's Wednesday edition. Okay. Let me look at news points. That's news points, the weekend news points. Yeah, the weekend news point, and the screaming headline here says, Gowon should have allowed Igbo leave Clark. Gowon should have allowed Igbo leave Clark. Ondo First Lady, one of Owere's best, would make classic legislator Olushola. Ondo First Lady, one of Owere's best, would make classic legislator Olushola. Nigerian breweries to spend 56 billion to expand Ama breweries in Enugu. Nigerian breweries to spend 56 billion to expand Ama breweries in Enugu. Owerri Senate group tips Madoka for effective representation. Olo Assembly, Okolie snubs issue leaders on zoning arrangements. Third fund projects, NGO demands explanation on abandoned projects at IMSU. With a rider may go to court over white paper implementation. NGA demands explanation on abandoned projects at IMSU. May go to court over white paper implementation. Let's look at. Let's take one of the stories here. Edwin Clark. Edwin Clark is the leader of Pan Niger Delta Forum and an elder statesman, First Republic minister. He has come out to say that at his age, that he's bound to say the truth, and he's saying that power should be, the 2023 presidency should be given to the Southeast, and in furtherance, he said, if you know you won't give them this, then Gowon should have allowed the Southeast live in 1967 when they wanted to succeed. So, how do you respond to that?
Well, very unfortunately, Edwin Clark was among those who told Gowon not allowed the East, then as it were, not to go. Gowon was a prominent member of the people, the persons. Clark was a prominent member of the clique that insisted that Nigeria should be one, Nigeria should remain one. You see, this is what I'm saying about the inconsistency of the average Nigerian politician. As at 1967, when these things were happening, Clark was in his either late 30s or early 40s, because he's 90-something now. So by that time, he thought that everything would remain like that. Now he is now saying the truth. I think we should be able to forgive him, to accept the recent one now he's saying, because he's very close to the grave. He's now saying the truth, that if an Igbo man does not become the president of Nigeria in 2023, that Gowon should have allowed the Igbo to live if they are not going to cede the presidency of Nigeria to Ndibo. Well, for the sake of what he said, let us take it like that. Me, I have always maintained there's nothing on ground to guarantee effectively that the Igbo man is going to be the next president of Nigeria in 2023.
Okay. McDonald.
Yeah, my take on this is very simple. I want to take up on Clark's statement on Nigerian president of Igbo extraction. In fact, Nigerian president of Southeast Igbo extraction. I think without casting aspersion on his person and personality, I want to align myself, with his position. It is it is ripe. It is time for an Igbo man to be given the opportunity to rule this Nigeria. The reason why I am saying this, I am a proponent of that prospect, is very simple. the marginalization against Ndibo, the injustice against Ndibo has taken an unbearable dimension. And when you are talking about distribution of power in Nigeria, you look at the south and the north. Power has resided in the north for so many years, and we are talking about the south. When you talk about the south, you talk about the southwest, you talk about the south-south. They have tested the seat of the presidency. We are talking about the southeast. So it is for sake of equity, for sake of equity, justice, and national conscience. It demands that an Igbo man should be given an opportunity. Whatever arrangement, whatever thing that is happening, should not deter an Igbo man. In fact, this is an opportunity for Ndibo. Anybody that has an Igbo blood running in his vein to support this project. The level of injustice and the marginalization against Ndibo, it is taken.
Okay. All right. Let me have your take on this, and while you comment on it, I also want you to also reflect on the question that so many people are asking: are the Igbos doing enough? Is it just enough to sit down and say, "I want, give me power"? Are they reaching out? Are they doing the necessary politicking that should be done to get this?
Well, the issue of the Igbo presidency, Igbo extraction of the presidency, is a matter of justice. Justice. And anything short of justice means that we are heading towards the fall. Like my brother has said, the North has tasted the power, the South has tasted the power, the Southwest has tasted the power, and I believe anybody who has his right thinking mind should know that it's not only that the Igbo extraction should come into play. We are going to perform wonders. I think the use of Nigeria can be rectified if the average Igbo man is given this opportunity. And even as we are not working so hard because there's a lot of divisions among us, it's just because most of the people are incited for one thing or the other. They're influenced about what comes into their pocket. But the truth is that we need justice to be done. And that will solve the problem of this agitation and all those kind of things that are in place right now. So we need this opportunity to be given to us. It is right.
Okay. The Nigerian weekend news points. Let's go to national papers now. Let's go to the Sun. The Sun newspaper is here. The Sun. Let's look at the Sun newspaper. That's the Sun newspaper here, and the big caption here says 2023 presidency, anxiety in APC, PDP as aspirants await final word on zoning. Anxiety in APC, PDP as aspirants await final word on zoning. Release of Nnamdi Kanu, first step to restoring peace in Southeast, Ohanaeze tells government. Release of Nnamdi Kanu, first step to restoring peace in Southeast, Ohanaeze tells government. With a rider, tells Igbo politicians to reject VP slot. Okay. Another caption here says that deadline for primaries. Deadline for primaries will not be extended, INEC. Deadline for primaries will not be extended, INEC. Presidency, protesters won APC against imposing Jonathan. Presidency, protesters won APC against imposing Jonathan. Another PDP primary, we are wholly with you, delegates assure Ugwuanyi. Okay. Buhari in Ebonyi, Lords Umahi on legacy projects. Buhari in Ebonyi, Lords Umahi on legacy projects. Let me start with you on this one. Anxiety in APC PDP as aspirants with final word on zoning. There's been this seek and hide game about zoning. Parties have not actually come out to say whether they support zoning or they are against zoning. And it's been making Nigerians pitch against one another. What do you think may finally happen?
The issue of anxiety in APC and the PDP as aspirants await the final word on zoning. The truth about the matter is that the issue of zoning should not be a thing of contest. The Southeast should be given this opportunity. Any other thing short of this means selfish interest on the part of any human being, any person, any authority, because equality means Southeast must come into play. So the more talk about anxiety or some other thing, where is anxiety? It is within the frame of individual minds. It is not something that is, calculated to carry the public interest. So the anxiety is just of personal. What's anxiety about? We have to be realistic, and when we are realistic, anxiety will go away.
Okay. All right, Chief Martins, what do you say about the anxiety in PDP and APC? These parties, are they going to jettison zoning?
I'm not a member of APC or PDP, but as a journalist, the anxiety there is very much in order, because from the body languages of the leaders of the party, you can see they say A today, tomorrow they say B, which means they are not very consistent in what they are doing. But I always tell you that if you take at party politics in Nigeria, since this is not party politics, if you look at the party politics in Nigeria, I've always told you that the PDP in particular, let's start from there, because the Igbo nation has made very large investments in PDP. And because of that, people are now calling that the PDP should zone its presidential slot to Southeast in 2023. But I am taking a different dimension. I want to tell you, as my brother here has stated, when it comes to South, you have Southeast, you have South-South and the Southwest. When you go to North, you have North Central, West and North. Now, from 1999 to 2007, the South produced a president in the person of the retired General Olusegun Obasanjo. He left office and handed over to a northern person in the person of the late Yaradua, who ruled for only 2 years and died. And quickly the power returned to South, and he went to Jonathan, who's from the South. He ruled for 6 years. If you combine the 6 years of Jonathan and 8 years of Obasanjo, he's giving you around 14 years of Southern domination in PDP. The North has only ruled for two years. So if the North is now making agitation on the PDP platform, saying it's our turn, or it is his son, I'm not sure that they are making a wrong agitation. If you are taking from, I'm coming, you have not interrupted any person. I'm telling that based on party politics of 1990 now, the North is making a very good agitation to rule Nigeria on PDP platform. Then if you are talking of APC, because of what the North saw the PDP was doing, that how can we be running 16 years and PDP has ruled for 14 years. No, we are not going to continue in PDP. They went and formed either an alliance or a conspiracy against PDP and Jonathan to produce APC. And the people, the zone that made that thing to happen was the Southwest. Mind you, Buhari had run elections in 2003, he failed.
Make it brief because of time. Just make it, summarize it because of time.
Well, what I'm saying in effect is that I continue to say it. My brother in the Southeast will be disappointed that neither PDP nor APC will yes.
Okay. Is it justified to, judge from 1999, considering the nature of Nigerian politics?
It is not justified at all. We are talking about Nigeria as an entity. We are talking about the leadership of Nigeria. Yes. Now, if you take a historic view on the leadership in Nigeria, you will know that greater percentage of those that have ruled this country all came from the north. Outside that, we talk about marginalization and injustice. Let me tell you, an average Igbo man does not necessarily need this president. The reason why the agitation is so high is because of the injustice and marginalization. What an Igbo man, what me and you need is a comfortable environment to do our business as an Igbo man. When you stop an Igbo man, from doing his business, you monopolize it. You stop one Chidebere from an Igbo man, from having an equal right with other Nigerians. You are saying that the repercussion and the lingering effect of the civil war is still speaking. And that is why an Igbo man is saying, what is our position in Nigeria? If you give us our equal rights, we wouldn't have been making this agitation. We would have been comfortable. Let me also state it. There is no anxiety anywhere. All these people creating this anxiety are enemies of Ndibo in order to create tension. There is no tension. Where will you create anxiety when it is the turn of Ndibo? Did you create that anxiety when it was the turn of Nda Yoruba and in the Hausa?
Okay. All right. So let's look at which other national paper here. This is the Nation. The Nation is here. The Nation newspaper. Let's look at the Nation newspaper. 2023. Ohaneze North Group talk tough on zoning. 2023. Ohaneze North Group talk tough on zoning. Federal government takes over Ebonyi Medical Varsity. Nigeria, US, 7 others lead in gas flaring. Onitsha has lost 40% of productive assets, says Soludo. 17 presidential, 95 governorship aspirants pick APC forms so far. Helicopter landing fee payments. Okay, helicopter landing fee payments begins May 9. And another one here says IPOB to Wike, pursue Biafra cause like your presidential bid. IPOB to Wike, pursue Biafra cause like your presidential bid. Still talking about 2023 and the issue of zoning is still at the front burner of almost all the papers, but I think we have done justice to this issue of zoning. Maybe we will begin to look at other aspects of it, like 17 presidential and 95 governorship aspirants pick APC forms so far. When we are talking about 17 presidential aspirants, we are talking about 100 million times 17. So what does that go to show in Nigeria?
You know, I have always maintained that I'm very much in support with what APC did by skyrocketing the fees for the presidential form, because as I told you earlier, the presidency of Nigeria is not an all-commerce affair, and it is high time the parties in Nigeria started funding themselves. With this amount of money now, you can see that the party has made enormous amount of money. It is not only for one person to now come and try to hijack the party. I think this is an essence, is a part of the reason these two parties, you know, hiked their presidential form. So it has also shown you that Nigerians, you know, have money. Nigerians have money. If 17... Is it
that Nigerians have money, or is it that a clique of Nigerians have money?
No, they are part of Nigeria. When Super Eagles play, you have 11 men on the field. You say Nigeria versus Ghana. You understand? So, and this one now is 17. They are Nigerians. So there are more and more people like that who have the money, but because of the way politics is started in Nigeria, they may not want to participate. So what I'm saying is that you can see Nigerians need change. They need change. That is why 17 persons from APC alone can come up with 100 million naira per person to obtain the presidential form.
McDonald, you agree with him that Nigerians have money when 17 elites have picked 100 million naira forms?
Well, well, I don't know how to start, but let me just say this. When you are talking about 17 presidential aspirants in APC paying 100 million at ease,
mere expression of interest.
Mere expression of interest. You ask yourself, what is their take home and salary? Some of them are serving, yes, some of them are serving ministers, some are serving senators, former governors. Now, what it means is that they are trying to shortchange those, in fact, they are trying to shortchange those who are not money bags from coming to express their interest to govern Nigeria. And if you look at these people, 90 to 95% of them have one EFCC case hovering over them. EFCC, all of them are in EFCC nets or EFCC list. They have been accused of embezzlement, of misappropriation and all that. What it means is that this money they are using to brandish now may be a product of looting. These are the money they looted, because most of them, all of them are in power, although that just finished up. So the summary of what I'm saying, you see, the change we are envisaging, the change we are clamoring for, cannot start with this present APC. What they are telling Nigeria is that APC is a no-go area. That is the basic truth.
This is laughable in the sense that I think Nigerians have been hijacked. I was thinking that a right-thinking party could have brought out a guideline like a presidential candidate should not be more than 50 years. It should be a graduate. Bringing out the criteria. That means that even if you don't have money and you are qualified, you can come in. So the issue of truncating the whole thing under how much you have means we are backward. It's nonsense and they absorb. Foolish man.
All right, let's look at. We'll take 2 more papers, and that will be. Let's look at the New Telegraph. The New Telegraph newspaper. Yeah, let's look at the New Telegraph newspaper. That's the New Telegraph newspaper, and the bold caption here says, "Imobi Ohaneze to federal government release Kano to douse insecurity in Southeast." Imobi Ohaneze to federal government release Kano to douse insecurity in Southeast. Condemns worsening security in the zone. Orders Ndigbo to obtain voter cards. Reiterates call for next president to emerge from Southeast. Obi wants to negotiate presidential ambition for VP slots. Okay, another caption here says the World Bank helps Nigeria's feet in gas flare reduction. World Bank helps Nigeria's feet in gas flare reduction. 2023 presidency, North won't succumb to blackmail, ACF wants. 2023 presidency, North won't succumb to blackmail, ACF wants. APC presidential ticket, cleric Tom politician, Osibanjo Bakare disagree on zoning. APC presidential ticket, clerics, Tom politicians, Osibanjo Bakare disagree on zoning. Anxiety grips Abia City medical students as school loses NUC accreditation. Anxiety grips Abia City medical students as school loses NUC accreditation. Super Tucano, false claims won't secure PDP presidential ticket. BM Hotels, Saraki. INEC to parties, June 3, sacrosanct for primaries. Okay, let's begin with an interesting story here about the Imobi Ohaneze. That has, the president was in a Boeing yesterday, and I think he's still there today. He will be leaving today, and he had an interface with some leaders from the Southeast, and we learned that Imobi Ohaneze, the decision-making point of Ohaneze, did tell him that the release of Nnamdi Kanu is a panacea to having peace in the Southeast.
I totally agree to what the Imobi of Ohaneze told the federal government. If you look at the Nigerian history, you discover that each time you want to achieve peace, each time you want to achieve stability, there is a sort of a negotiation in terms of releasing a political, so I totally agree that after all, you should ask yourself, when Jonathan was there, when Obasanjo was there, the insecurity now in the Southeast was not there. So the arrest of Nnamdi Kanu, and Nnamdi Kanu, as you know, has so much influenced, inspired, mentored and motivated a lot of Igbo youths. So holding him in hostage has also increased fears, anxiety and insecurity in the zone. So if the president and the federal government have the interest of Ndigbo and the Southeast at heart, I think the best thing to do, since the charges against him are all in political, quote and unquote, I think the release of Nnamdi Kanu should go a long way towards making insecurity in the Southeast to be very much on a lower.
Yes, I think the Imobi is right. But in the first place, President Muhammadu Buhari don't need to be told. The federal government don't need to be told that releasing Nnamdi Kanu is a panacea to achieving peace in Nigeria. It is very, very sacrosanct. You see, the president by now ought to have pursued the part of political negotiation and the mediation in this matter. You don't use a kinetic approach in solving a matter of this nature. The best approach to this matter of this nature is to pursue the part of political solution. That is what is expected of the federal government and president, rather than using this jackboot and kinetic approach. I think Ohaneze is right. So another thing is, I think the President Buhari and the federal government should try to, listen to Ohaneze and Ndigbo.
What's your take on that? Release Kanu to douse insecurity in Southeast, Imobi Ohaneze, tell federal government.
I quite agree. because Kanu is a young man, and when you look at his charges, let me come from there. He has 15 count charges. Already, without mentioning them, he has already gone free in 8 charges. That means he has scored a pass mark. And I believe the 7 count charge remaining, he may even win up to 3 or 4 or 5. That means he's on a higher rating. And he has so much influence in the system that even without being told, every human being in Southeast knows that on Monday you have to sit down. There's an influence of Kanu's detention on the people. So releasing him without a lot of tension, and it creates a new awareness in the life of the system and people. So I believe that is right. And so I appeal to the president to see what he can do to release him and then move on to a political situation. I think that is the way out of the situation.
All right, I think with this paper we've come to the end of the program today. I want to sincerely thank my guests here, starting with our brother here. Tell us your name.
My name is Dr. Ben Zinworu.
Dr. Ben.
Yeah.
Woru. All right, it's a pleasure having you in the program today. And I want to thank the 2 journalists who are here with me. Ori Martins, thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
And McDonald, thank you for coming.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.
Dear viewer, that's the much we'll do this morning on the program. We'll be back next week for another week-long edition of this program. Until we come that time, I'm your host, Akobidima, and I say keep watching Universal Heritage Television Naija and subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can be getting our broadcast. Till I come your way Monday, I say bye-bye.